Oh, hit the button. I believe. Anyway, gotta put my glove on. Very cold. But lots of sun and such, so that's good. So it's not all bad. Yeah, like life. Yeah, it's hot. What's that noise? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So it's not my house. So anyway, psychology stuff, I suppose. The distinctions between, well, there's two videos I'm going to deal with. I think I'll play Great Texas later, so I'll talk about Anaconda. So he's using, well, you always have to use metaphors. I don't know. He's using this dichotomy between East and West, and some sort of, the cliches of the East, let's call them, in terms of recognizing there's certain feudal elements of your psychology. So I guess you could argue that, Westerners were more like just go west, young man. I mean, they were more like just do it. They're more Nike, And the East is more, oh, let's sit down for a while and think about this. So you can almost say they're lazier. They're, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I really don't want to get caught in that kind. I mean, it's all storytelling in the end, is what I'm going to say. That our programs are just stories. There's different ideals, different narratives, stories. And some of those are irrational, and some of them are rational. Some of the character associations. Clearly, there's a whole bunch of the stuff inside of us that's just irrationally programmed. That's the conditioned part. Your sexual preferences, food preferences, that kind of stuff. In terms of visceral taste, smells. This stuff gets conditioned early in your life, and it's kind of hard to undo that stuff. But you can certainly understand its existence. So, Anaconda is using a guru guy or whatever those people are. Those Buddhist people, thingies, Hindus, whatever they are. And using a metaphor, controlling the monkey, where, I've used exactly the same metaphor, except I call it an ape usually, but it doesn't matter. And then his metaphor is a stagecoach or something, or controlling the horses. And it's just about this idea that our psychology gets ahead of us, maybe. That these ambitions, desires, the pettiness, the defensiveness. We can go through all these things that sort of like Freud gave us. So that now we're back to my argument that, all of this stuff is just, the reality can be seen through the lenses provided by, the two eyeglasses provided by Darwin and Freud. And you're going to pretty much get the game. I mean, Darwin shows that it is a game, just a contest. And Freud shows the psychology that is the definition of the player, that we're just built to play, and that we have these elements of psychology that just keep throwing us into the competition, just make us competitive. And that's one of these programs running, of our ego and ambition, honor, integrity. I'm using the good ones now. But we know there's a lot of bad ones, ones that are just about winning. Ones like the Anaconda, which is ironic, right? This is the guy talking as if he knows what enlightenment is, and he'll look me right in the eye and say something like, "What's in it for me?" Hilarious. So clearly he doesn't understand the Darwin game in any deep way. I mean, he understands it in a superficial way that, oh, I'm supposed to win. but that's not really what Darwin. If you keep the Darwin glass clean, you'll be able to see the Darwin glass shows you that you don't win. Okay, that the game is consuming things of equal value to yourself. Slavery's not winning; it's losing badly. So he just doesn't get that. And on the Freud side, I don't think he appreciates that all of the programs are effectively, that's the right word to say, there is a kind of a democracy inside of you, in that there's an element of conditioning that might be applied, in that you're either going to perceive yourself as a victim in the world, or perhaps you'll perceive yourself as an asset to the world, like a fireman, or you might perceive yourself as just what's in it for me. You might be able to classify the end result of the preponderance of your programs, but I want to get back to the idea that all of them, all of even the best of you has to be kind of emotional and holy shit, the ice is icy. Yeah, the ice is icy. I'm gonna walk again. So even the best of you is going to be some sort of soap opera to get there, to get you motivated to be that thing. And so I guess I'd say that we start off with silly stories, the three pigs, but these are all part of our conditioning, how we're made to live in the world. We're told stories, and many of them don't make any sense. Yeah, hard to get much out of Red Riding Hood, I think. Goldilocks has got some values exchanged there, like don't be rude. Yeah, right. And this whole satisfaction thing where there's always these extremes, and maybe it's some and the Conovad probably likes that one, because it's always about this just right thing in the middle, which seems kind of cliche. But again, these are just narratives or stories with which we identify with themes, and they become ideas in our head that this is a good thing, this is a bad thing. So these things, these behaviors, these approaches, these activities are identified by us in positive ways and negative ways, through the story, through much of it very deliberate and manipulative to actually create that perception. And we migrate ourselves through those stories, becoming more and more complex in terms of, I guess you might call it, the character development, to build our identity, who we want to be. Whoa. This is not going to be great, but we'll see how it works. It's not very thick out there, especially big water spot, but carefully do this, sitting on the log. Oh, that's just good. Anyway, it's a little thin, you see, and it's yeah, I'm not nearly as talented as I used to be. See if I can sit and move without touching the ice. But I can't do it that way. I'd have to crawl. Oops, don't stand on it, Gary. Yeah, so you have to crawl. And so if I crawl and I fall, then I'm definitely going down. I think I'll take a pie. I think I will. See, maybe there's another spot. Anyway, see, I could be a superhero, but geez, look, it's a long fall down there. It's water, it's cold. It's really cold, too. It's not just a little bit cold. It's really cold today. I should be more courageous, but not. Yeah, that's the song for the day. It really is just too thin. It's really good right here. See, you can see the hole there. Too thin. See, it took out all that air under it. It flooded the other day. So there's an ice layer above, and the water's, you know, a few inches below, and that creates an air layer of air, which insulates the water from the cold, so the water doesn't freeze. So then all you have is a cruddy little half-inch of ice above unfrozen water, and that will not do. So, I have to think of something else. That's what we all think. Let's see, we could go upstream, I suppose, a little further, see if there's an opportune spot. Nice day for being inside. No, I mean, it's nice. The sun is, you can feel it, it's getting stronger. It's recovering. Soon it'll be back. 2 months. But anyway, soon. Hopefully it's soon. Alright, so back to the psychology and stories. So yeah, it's all kind of just like these stories, these identification. So you identify yourself. You attach yourself through your programming. Your the other part I got into too was the arguing of the brains, because I do a lot of that conversation. See, that was almost a viable pass there, but that's a little, gets dicey over at the end. Dicey. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, dicey kind of implies you got a real good chance. You don't have a good chance. It's not like dice, it's like rolling fruit cake. Anyway, ears are getting cold already. My hat is insufficient. Alright, so again, back to the mental conversation. So all the programs are just, you know, it's back to the Sybil thing. We're all multi-personalitied entities. We have these, a group of programs. Like I said, I've labeled some of them. In terms of, you have pride, you have these different emotional things. But there's like these programs that just are, there's a piece of you that's Superman, there's a piece of you that's Simon Bar Sinister, Chester the Molester. I mean, you have these different characters. Characters is a good word. Characters, elements of character. Desire entities. And maybe that's a good word. No, it doesn't sound good. First time I said it sounded good, and then I heard it the second time I said, ooh, that sounds gay. Desire entities. It's like a restaurant or something, a bad restaurant. But anyway, so yeah, you have these mechanisms, these psychological mechanisms, programs, whatever, and they're all competing for control. There's no master. There's no one program. There's no, what's the word? There's just the one that wins. You know, there's, I suppose you could argue that there could be a gang of your ideas So you have an idea about evolution, which, ooh, I gotta worry about my motives. So that gives you an indication. Let's say you learn a little bit of psychology and learn, oh, I can have silly or superficial causes for my behavior, or I can have thoughtful causes for my behavior. So once you know that, you know there's a difference between the two. There's automatically a program set in place that just says, well, we're going to do this think about it thing at least. At least we're going to consider the possibility that we're being frivolous, stupid, illogical, and foolish to indulge in some impulse. So an impulse arises where we say, gee, we might be able to get a peek at some side boob. And so the impulse is created, and then your brain says, yeah, but she looks kind of high maintenance, and maybe you don't even want to go near that stuff, and so why get yourself attached to it, and fuck this, I'm going home. Yeah, you just say, get the hell out of town. Move fast, run. And so, yeah, it's like identifying, like say if there were actually vampires, it'd be like your brain could identify the vampires if you actually think about it. So if you don't live impulsively, you'll have time to, oh yeah, that one, oh yeah, that, the other way, I got you, you're a vampire, you know, that kind of thing. And so that would be a program that's modifying your programming in the sense that it's always running. It's always saying, caution, slow down, caution, slow down. So here it is, just an idea, and the idea is converted into a program because of the collective of your intellect, your reasonability, can't find a counter argument. So again, it's almost like me arguing with your brain, you know, me attempting to convince you of something. What I'm really trying to do, in a sense, is create a dissonance in your own head that says, yes, I don't have a good counter argument. Yeah, there is no reasonable alternative explanation. And then you have to just, your brain has to make the concession because your brain is fundamentally doing logic. And it wouldn't work if it didn't. It wouldn't work if you arbitrarily became afraid, or you arbitrarily were hungry, or arbitrarily, you know, without some sort of development of a connection between your experience living and these attachments. But again, like Freud points out, some of these attachments are old and primitive, very primitive, and you won't be able to reason them out of existence. You'll just be able to have a program that says contextualize. Take the time to recognize that ambition or that desire or that petty impulse to, you know, go key the car, and recognize it for what it is, and then kind of take the teeth out of it, make it kind of just evaporate as having any power, because even your Charlie Manson programs will have to admit that, yeah, that program is an idiot. You know, because they all tend to have to be obedient to the idea of, yeah, you lost the contest. There's no reasonable alternative evasion. Now, I guess part of the problem is most people don't understand what they're doing. They're just letting it happen to them. So they don't understand the difference between an impulse. They don't understand the difference between, you know, the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. Something funny as that sounds. They think they're equal. You know, they think their impulses are as good as their judgment. And so they're just, yeah, and they just haven't identified them. So it's all the same voice to them. So it just sounds like noise when they have dissidents. They don't pay any attention. And I suppose so much of their life has been ludicrously blighted by obscene unfairnesses and circumstances that can only be called illogical and nonsensical, that they have given up or lost the ability to, or have not yet acquired the ability to have that reflection that has any substance to it or any meaning to it. They're just switching from silly ambition and sillier ambition, and sometimes they get that right, and they'll go for less silly, but they don't really get any big picture idea of pursuing objectives in the world beyond the ones they viscerally feel, the ones that will get them a trophy, the one that will get them a ribbon, that kind of stuff. So anyway, it is all just, you can do a lot of reducing of our psychology, and it's almost a circumstance where we have too many words. We have too few for other subjects, and this one we just have too many. And too many different labels for very similar emotions, and so I'm just sort of semi-making an excuse that I didn't say this as mathematically almost as I would like it to sound more 2 + 2, because it really is. They're just programs. They're characters, personalities. They compete with each other, and the one that will win is the one that can most easily associate itself with being not only your friend, he likes you, but he's associated with a kind of, he's really a good arguer. The program is good at making an irrefutable argument. So again, once you understand my psychology is suspect, once you accept that fact, it really becomes very easy to start seeing yourself, you can start seeing the puppet strings and how you're being manipulated by your culture or your family or the traditions of your times, and you can see silly things like an addiction to football or an addiction to baseball or an addiction to almost anything, and recognize it for what it is. That it's just some sort of vicarious feeding that you do in terms of a fantasy about who you'd like to be or what kind of celebrity you'd like to be. And it doesn't really have much to do with anything meaningful beyond indulging in role-playing fantasy. So you're just feeding off of it like a soap opera. And then you get caught up in it as you become one of the characters or identify with one of the characters. You almost become that character in the game, and now you will need to know what happens. You're so invested. There'll be a piece of you in that. So these stories we tell each other become the soap operas we live by. And if you tell stories like Darwin, and then Freud came along, and then came Freud, if you do that, you're going to become kind of a, yeah, you're not going to be as much fun at parties, but you're going to become, if there's any such thing as taking control or having control, or enlightenment, or elevating your character, that kind of knowledge, that kind of contextual understanding of what's going on inside your brain. It is a brain, an animal brain. Even that, even saying animal brain, even that idea, I think, if I say animal brain enough times, maybe I should just say it over and over. I think as an idea, it will turn into a program inside of you. It's such a powerful combination of words. Animal brain. It tells you that you're not, some kind of better beastie, that you are in fact a controlled and programmed animal, and that there does need to be that this thing has to be, you have to operate it very carefully and slowly. You have to let it, and that's really what control is. It's just slowing it down, saying, impulse is crap, until you've pre-approved an impulse. So ahead of time, before you get to the party, you almost have to say, it's like putting on your clean underwear. You're almost saying, yes, I'm giving sanction to dancing in my underwear with a lampshade on my head. So you've already approved, the impulsive behavior. And so pre-approved impulses. But yeah, you'll be a thoughtful person and a careful person, and you're going to be more likely to be getting life right rather than doing it wrong. Alright, well, so this wasn't totally unproductive, but it was pretty unproductive. I didn't get where I wanted to go. So anyway, no till the next time and such. Back inside. Yeah, well, I'm going to run out. There's going to be a couple hours of this stuff, so I'll just let this play through and I'll get the gray text. But first I'm going back to this and a kind of odd, and I guess the context here. This gray text videos was about Logic Rolls the Dice. Being gay is better than being Apple. The kid's 19 years old. I don't really think you need to make titles like that. But yeah, he's 19 years old. Okay, and these people are just playing with him, of course, because that's what people do. He's done really well, okay, in terms of absorbing a lot of information, but he's in a 19-year-old kid's brain. From our perspective, right? So I think he's doing really well in terms of identifying aspects of his personality and understanding his own psychology and trying to deal with his own emotions and all this other kind of crap. He's doing really well. And these guys are just playing with him, right? So the funny thing is Anna Konovad made a video just to announce that I must block somebody. And they even said in the comments something like, I don't even have Gary blocked. Well, why would you have to block me? You see, because I don't make snarky, stupid, irrelevant comments on people's videos. Gray Texas' last video, on my last comment on my video was the brilliant statement, whine and shout, whine and shout. That's coming from Belch and Fart, right? So Belch and Fart is critiquing me and calling me whine and shout, right? That's how much you just say, well, gee, all my programs, even Charlie Manson, they all are laughing at that in terms of a threat to my intellectual integrity. Like, that's going to do something, that means something somehow? Fart and Belch has found a flaw? Oh, in my character? Yo, gee, what a horror. Anyway, So back to this. The war is over. So there was a war of some kind. So anyway, Logic rolls the dice, right? So he's even put in comments more than one time in comment sections. I'm feeling emotionally stressed. I'm loose cannoning emotionally right now. You people are making me want to vomit. He didn't say that, but that's sort of what he's saying. He's just saying you people are inconsolably, uncorrectably retarded, and it's just very frustrating for him because he's never worked at a retard daycare center, and he's finding it incredibly frustrating because you can't get the retards to quit shoving poo in their ears. And so he's just described. So he's right there overtly explaining to these people that I'm finding you all so irritating. I just want to fucking smack you in the head. And so it's like that kind of frustration, right? I mean, we've all had that moment in our lives somewhere, probably, right, where we just say, you want to just kick the fucking cat, right? You just want to kick it because it's being such a pain in the fucking ass. But you gain enough maturity where that's just not a possibility. Even it's not really a possibility anyway. But we have had moments probably where we have done something out of anger that we really regret. I once punched a window, put my fist right the fuck through it and just about cut my finger off. And it was just stupid. So he pre-announced, I'm going to do some stupid shit because you people have me so fucking frustrated. And these assholes, these fucking enlightened, pontificating, fart and belch and what's in it for me, aren't enlightened enough. No, the East knows it all. I am Swami Dummy Dummy Dummy. Swami Dummy 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 couldn't figure out that the kid is just having his period. And you can't take anything he's going to say too seriously. But you can if you want, because like with drunks, sometimes they're talking the truth. Sometimes they will actually tell you, I hate the way you look, I hate the way you smell. The only reason why I'm friends with you is because you buy me cigarettes. Or something like that. I've never had that happen. Anyway, so this is all just, these people are just so fucking manipulative. And then they accuse me, right, who has never had a personal conversation with Logic Rolls the Dice, never done anything to try to manipulate him in any way, as the manipulator, as the Svengali, trying to take control over everybody's psychology. No, I'm the one who's told him, look, you're a kid, and you're doing really well, and you just kind of just relax and just get your feet wet, and you'll get used to wet feet. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but I've been doing it a long time, and I'm still in the game. So it is. You can't endure it. You can't get used to the shit in their ears, and you just take a Q-tip and you try to dig it out, and you just deal with it because that's all we got. We're on nursery school planet Earth, and you're going to have to learn that you can't just kick the little kids in the nuts. You're going to have to try to talk to them. So anyway, that's the irony of this whole thing. It's just so ironic. So anyway, they've all scared Logic Rolls the Dice. Ooh, you're being nasty and bad. So you got to apologize. So I guess they've provoked him, manipulated him into an apology for a statement that I don't think is dishonest. I mean, I don't think he has any respect for you. I don't think he'd be horrified if you were the next victim on planet Earth, because you are a victimizer, you are an abuser, you are a rapist, and if you got raped, I couldn't do anything else but applaud that, oh, nature got it right for a change. Hey, deserve had something to do with it. Yeah. You're a maggot, okay? You're the maggot from outer space. No, you're the anticontivod from outer space, like a blob. And you've come to Earth to body snatch human intelligence into becoming maggots. So why wouldn't I want to annihilate you in some sort of beautifully poetic way? I mean, I would love the opportunity to, freeze you, with fire extinguishers, or, do some flaming thing or whatever the heroic way is. You know, like Jabba the Hutt, have a chick in a bikini strangle you. It'd be just great. However, I get rid of the monster, and you are a monster. You're a monstrosity of deception, and the most, like I said, it's not coincidental, that Nietzsche got taken over by the Nazis. It's not. I mean, it's not an erroneous association, because it is an asshole's philosophy, and that's what you are. You're an asshole with an idiot's philosophy of what's in it for me. That's your mature. Wow, the Easterners really got it right, because they sit on their ass, have a fart, do a stretch, and then go, what's in it for me? Yeah, wow. They're really smart. Yeah, like retards with shit in their ears. So, I would like to be blocked, frankly. I mean, but I'm really it's just not my style to post a comment on your video expressing my sincere desire that you die horribly real soon, because that's exactly what you deserve. You are an awful, horrible defender of torture. Even on the subject of vegetarianism, you couldn't do any better than, well, I just don't personally like to eat meat. You couldn't even make a statement that, coincidentally, that makes me kind of a less harmful person on planet Earth, which is good. Because, yeah, animals feel. No. I mean, people are so distant from reality, so distant from the theory of evolution and Freud, and you are just religious kooks, and that's all it really comes down to. You're just all religious kooks, and you're just rationalizing your silly ambitions and addictions. You think it's incredibly important that somebody breaks the home run record again. You think we gotta keep humans alive just so they can do it one more time, one more time, one more time. And it's all psychology, and it's the psychology of a maggot. Like I said, even in a shithole like India, thousands of years ago, they started to occur to them that this is really smelly and messy, and they started elevating themselves above maggot. They said, let's not be bugs. Look, these bugs have more character than you. That's the ironic thing, right? All these bugs in this story are more complex psychological characters than this guy. What's in it for me? So it's just ludicrous. So anyway, I'm sorry that Logic Rolls the Dice was bludgeoned by you assholes into apologizing for a comment that he probably sincerely thinks is probably just about right anyway. I mean, you belong in the worst case scenario because you're a defender of the worst case scenario. I mean, you can't understand that? The people who are advocating for jumping in the cesspool are the ones who should be getting the cholera. You can't figure that out? Oh, fuck. So anyway, so let's play a little bit of this. I haven't heard this part of it. So he's accepted the apology, and he's ready to re-engage in a mature conversation about what? Okay, you're a retard with shit in your ears. You cannot. Okay, you will not. You call evolution scientism. You call believing that the universe doesn't have some spiritual component or fancy-dancy stuff beyond photons, hydrogen, converted into helium, rocks, gravity. So yeah, you're the one who is, I guess, you're the one way down there on the evolutionary scale when it comes to taking what we know and evolving with it. You have rejected intellectual evolution and have deliberately and willfully now said, I will destroy facts that I don't like. I mean, you can't get more blob than that. I mean, the monster from outer space would do, that could be like the most kind of insidious monster. The monster that comes from outer space and steals facts. steals how to make penicillin or something. That would be just horrible. And that's all you are. You're regressive, regressor.
Piece of crockery that she's throwing at me. Actually, that's not true, but I wouldn't blame her if she did. Neither would you.
Yes, I'm very unlikable, but you can't say certain things. You can't say voodoo, snicker, or hooky pooky. If you say those 3 words in my comments, I'll block you. That's my standards. But you can think anything you like. Well, at least people can't be guilty of thought crimes, I guess, then. But like I said, whatever the crime is, convict me, because I just couldn't give a rat's ass about being blocked by any of you motherfucking weasels. I know how to use the internet. I know how to see videos I need to see. And what I don't need to do is post snarky, shitty, pukey, tripey, cliche crap on people's comment section. It's just fucking rude, and that's all you assholes do. I'll say directly what I think of you, which is you suck. I don't need to post it in your comment section.
So I know that I'm going to provoke outbursts from people. I have a frustrating personality. I call myself...
Yeah, whoop-de-fucking goddamn do. Like I said, I mean, shit, if I sat there and made a video for every time somebody said something outrageously fucking idiotic in my comment section, I mean, fuck you. This is just so fucking stupid. Who cares? You block somebody, you move on. You don't want his comments? Don't have his comments. But all this fucking drama, especially manipulating a 19-year-old kid. I mean, you're just so fucking lame.
I say that I have an itching powder personality. It just, the second you come into contact with me, irritation starts. I am what I am. What can I say?
There we go again. I am what I am. Be the maggot. I can't be anything other than a maggot. Well, fuck you then.
So anyway, without getting too long-winded about this, let's have at it again.
Whatever. The whole fucking have at it. The whole fucking making videos about this was fucking idiotic. But whatever. Whatever. Who cares? Fuck you. Anyway, moving on to this other asshole I really hate. So this will take a while, just because great texiisms are just so, you could just talk forever on some of these great texiisms, because they're just so fucking stupid. And you're just like saying, oh man, this is such a perfect example of the appeal to stuporicity, the appeal to smelly shoes, the appeal to whatever. I'm a loser and I love it. Ugh. So anyway, deja vu. Yeah. Well, see, that's sort of the funny part too. Is these guys have done this before. They took poor little heroin Church and just fucked with his poor little brain. But that's it's whatever. Whatever. Jay Sounder. I mean, it's just these are what people do. This is the game they're playing. And they're just, but see, that's the good news is they just don't have emotional weapons against me. They will not fuck with my psychology.
I've got glasses on for this one, which instantly makes me not only extremely more intelligent, but also more sexy.
Yeah, to the blob from outer space. Probably there's nothing to say, but yeah, we are deteriorating horribly, aren't we? I mean, really. Ugh, all downhill, huh, buddy? Yeah, it's just so much fun, isn't it? Screaming down the hill, watching your fucking body fall apart, and you're desperately trying to keep what little you got left.
Well, I've been enjoying a wee drama between LogicRollsTheDicie and Anna Cantavad.
Right, and again, let's recognize, this isn't even any kind of drama. I mean, like I said, the kid announced in more than one comment, I'm finding you all incredibly frustrating. No drama.
And LogicRollsTheDicie, somehow the Inmendham fluke got into his brain and took over him for a brief spell and made him talk about gassing and shooting people who disagreed with him and calling people.
Right. So I do that all the time. I mean, it's, you know, what the hell is that? I mean, he's a 19-year-old kid. He said, and he's even explained too, that he has previously had a rather obnoxious philosophy. That he had some philosophical beliefs that were quite horrid. He was quite an obnoxious, insensitive character, and so you would imagine that some of that might come out in a drunken tantrum. Again, this is a drunk doing this, playing this game. Like he doesn't understand. Whoops. He doesn't understand. Whoops. Yeah, fuck you.
For faggots and so on. And, you know, it's quite amusing to me that you would call anybody a faggot because, you know, I think Logic Rolls the Dice is gay. Okay, my gaydar's on, and it's like, I watch one of his videos.
Oh, you know, I mean, that's just so bad in a way, right? Because, yeah, of course there's gay people that are just obviously gay. You know, it's just like wearing a shirt that says gay or pink or something else. And you say, okay, they're gay, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, even this whole idea that you have gaydar and you're going to play some game where you're gaydaring people, aren't you just basically saying that you're some sort of bigot that you'd even worry about gaydaring? Anyway, who cares?
We're talking about gay. Just instant, you know, gay judgment. You know, not that there's a problem with people being gay, obviously, but when somebody's calling people faggots, you know, you tend to think, you know, why are they calling people faggots if they're gay?
Well, partly because it's just such a good word of hate. It just really is. It's not like nigger, you know, that one's just so bad. You know, faggot's kind of funny. And so, I mean, I have to concede. It's fallen out of my mouth on occasion. And, yeah, it's wrong because there's this association, but I don't have I mean, it's like I don't connect the two words. Where the word, you know, the N word is so connected to a mechanism of oppression. The word faggot is just, you know, faggots call faggots faggot, you know. I mean, it's just not exactly the same thing. I'm not defending it, okay? It's like me calling women cunts or something. I mean, even that very polite English woman said dick, you know, being a dick. You know, we do this shit, and it is wrong, but, you know, lighten up, fuckhead. Yeah, he threw an F-bomb. Big deal.
Is it like black people calling people niggers?
I don't think it's anything like that at all. That's a whole different kind of bullshit. You know, that's just saying we're breaking your language into a million little pieces, and you're never going to understand a word we say ever again. That's what that's about. Black people have decided to become an alien race. They've decided to establish their own planet.
I don't know.
And it ain't going to be White Town.
Who knows? It's just a slightly bemusing thing to me. Anywho, I also said to him, you know, he's talking about, you know, he wants to, you know, abolish suffering. And I just said, most people value existence over...
Okay, most people value existence over suffering. Yeah, most people. Again, this nothing. What most people believe in angels. Most people, like Anticondavad, believe in something special in the story, and my brain won't be dead when I'm dead. Most people believe a whole pile of crap. And the only difference between me and them is that I never believed the pile of crap. Okay, so I had to look at reality. And you realize that, oh yeah, insects really don't do this. You know, they don't have parties and it isn't all fun and all that. No. The real cruel world is, it's this horrible mechanism of parasitism. The entire thing is just covered with parasites. Things feeding off of each other, just waiting for the opportunity. I thought today, because I used the sea turtle reference, and I was thinking about what sea turtles eat, which is mostly jellyfish. And I was thinking about, you know, the big man-o-war jellyfish, and it's, you know, millions of them died, so this one jellyfish could get big and huge, and then there's just this sea turtle just happens to be swimming by, you know, and he sees him over there, half mile away, and just start swimming towards it. And the man of war thing is, you know, don't know anything about what's just about going to happen. He's sitting in the sun saying everything's cool. I got 1,000,000 stingers. I'm really fun. I'm cool. And he's just going to get bitten to pieces, one little bite at a time. Not that it matters. It doesn't have a brain, but I'm just saying, this is nature. Just opportunity, chomp chomp. This is the game that life has been playing for 500 million years with organisms that could say ouch. You're playing meat grinder with organisms that can say ouch. How is that metaphor incorrect? That's what happens on planet Earth. It is all ground up. Meat grinder. And they just bounce around trying not to fall into the funnel. And you're doing that with sensitive feeling organisms, and you're proud of yourselves. We, the majority, think we're doing just fine. Well, the majority thinks it's okay to take a baby cow, lock it in a cage, force feed it for 6 months, and then bleed it out. The majority of people think that's okay. So why should I care what most people think? Most people are fucking maggots. They're an insult to our intelligence, an insult to our brain. They refuse to rise above their station. They are criminals, they're abusers, they're pillagers, they're scum, and they should be sanitized. They should be finally saluted. You know, fuck you, game over.
For the absence of suffering, which is a part of existence.
So what? It's a part of existence.
And,
Isn't that a great line? Oh, sorry.
Judge. You know, not that there's a problem with people being gay, or
Okay.
he's talking about, you know, he wants to, for the absence of suffering. So, given the choice, you know, we can end your existence now, and you won't then suffer ever.
Right. But you just can't just end your existence like you jump in a swimming pool. So let's not pretend that's how life works. So it's more crap. And ending my existence doesn't stop my recreation, in the sense that, like I said, would you look, at 6 years old, if somebody gave me the option, if they rationally said to me, hey Gary, we've noticed that you've observed that life seems preposterously stupid and silly, and you don't understand it at all, and you don't think there's any way you ever are going to understand it, you're never going to be able to make sense out of it, right? And I would say, yeah, it just seems, I mean, I just saw a fucking, you know, 3-legged dog today, and it took a shit, and there was maggots in its shit. I mean, there was maggots in its shit before it shit the shit. I mean, fuck. You know, they were just worms, but, you know, same difference. And I say, yeah, I'm never going to understand this fucking shithole. That's right, I'm not going to understand. Okay, you want to die? And I'd say, sure. Yeah, I'll get out of here. Yeah, let's go. Let's walk hand in hand into the light. Yes, I'd get out. Okay, because I had no obligations, no problem. All right, I really didn't have a problem, right? Because I had nothing to take care of. I wasn't essential to anything. My parents had 3 other kids, so they're fine. They'll have something else to torment. You know, my sister I was more dependent on her than she was dependent on me. And you know, my twin sister. And so yeah, I could have gotten out, no problem. Would you have let me? Oh no, that's right, you wouldn't. So this is a moot conversation, because you would say we still are entitled to torture you for 18 years and then create a whole bunch of binding attachments that you're going to get stuck in that are going to make it very difficult for you to get yourself out of here in some sort of clean manner. And then you have the obstacle of just the fact that you have to do physical damage to your sentient organism to get out of here. You have to kill the monkey. You have to actually kill your ape to get out of here. So again, just more slop that somehow this solves the problem, when it doesn't solve the problem. And we are so far from coming even anywhere close to even providing that solution, right? There's people right now, millions of them every year, millions of people every year go, kill me, and we won't do it. Please let me die, and we won't do it. So this is almost an obscene. Again, this is more of this glib motherfuckers. These glib motherfuckers who just don't take no account for the torture they're imposing. They impose through their obnoxiously silly, I'm for it too. You're voting for it, jackass. You're saying yes, asshole. You voting for it. You responsible for it.
People still choose to exist rather than be snuffed out.
Yeah, people choose. It's a wonderful way to say it, right? Somebody who doesn't believe really in free will. They choose to be Muslim, and they choose to be Catholic, and they choose to be this, and they choose to be that. Yeah, sure they do. Fuck you.
It's a value that they possess. It's a value.
Yeah, who cares? Again, and the whole argument being made is that they are trivial, silly, stupid, and ignorant values. Do you have an argument that that's enlightenment? Well, give me the argument. Let me hear the argument how the smart people know life is worth living. That somehow it's the smart people who don't have the dissidents. Somehow it's not an aspect of getting contextual understanding of your own motivated and driven psychology isn't likely to make you probably alcoholic and a bit despondent. So don't be telling me that this is the way humans should be. What? Humans should be silly, ignorant, dumb animals. Oh, so we're right back to anaconda maggot. Yeah. Let's not do the elevate, let's not do the evolve thing. No, let's devolve right back into maggots. So we can eat this shit happily. Fuck you, you're stupid.
That they hold. Now, the ethicists will have to convince people to exchange those values.
Well, convince them to exchange. No, the exchange will be, the convincing will have to happen in their own minds. So all the ethicists will have to do is say, look, these are the facts, okay? Your programming should find them compelling, and if it doesn't, it's because you're a retard with shit in your ears. You're obnoxious to the truth. Look, Anacondabot is obnoxious to the truth. You are obnoxious to the truth. It's just the truth, okay? You don't want to hear facts, okay, that don't defend your existence. And it's that simple. And if you don't like the facts, you will clearly, I can clearly feel you saying right now, what's in it for me? I can hear it. Because that's who you are. And you can't do better than that, because you're a bug. You're less than a bug. Like I said, the bugs we can metaphor into better characters than fuckers like you.
Okay, you value not suffering, but you don't value it as much as you value existing. We are suggesting that you should value not suffering more than you value existence, and hence we can work towards our goal.
Existing again, it's like it's their existence. No, yes. What do you want for the future? Would you implant would you take responsibility? It's all going to be on you. Like if I gave this question to the average human, all right, it's all on you. Whatever goes wrong will be your fault. Okay, whatever suffering, whatever horrors take place, it's all on your fucking hands. We're going to make life on Mars, okay? And you're going to press every fucking significant button, all right? And you're going to create a system that it'll be explicit. Deserve will have nothing to do with it, okay? And these will be epistemic conditions that will exist. There will be horrid diseases. There will be brains outside of bodies. There will be parasites trying to eat their brains. You're telling me the average person really would ball up and say, yeah, I'll press the button? No, again, this is psychology. Most people are crippled by their psychology, and they can't even have a rational conversation about these ethical, philosophical questions. And so, yeah, they have to be upgraded a bit. They have to fucking go to school a little bit and learn a little bit about reality. The science, the mechanics of existence. I might have to go. I better. Yeah.